All right, guys, this is Chime here with Ask Chi Anything Wednesday night at 6 p.m. So, just to be really honest and fully transparent, I am a little sick, a little congested. It's not COVID. It's that I guess seasonal cold is back, and just I'm not coughing or sneezing or any kind of projectile. Just you know how you feel in the back of your head and the top of your head. You just like stuffy. So that's kind of what's going on here. So bear with me if I am not sounding all so perfect for tonight. But I'm always here. This is my commitment to you. To always be here, ready to answer any question that comes to me. About real estate, about life, about community, about my personal hobby, about food, anything that you have. That's my personal commitment. So I am live here and just ready to kind of like answer anything that you guys have here. So anyway, so let's take a look here. I got here on Instagram. Interesting. Okay. And on Facebook. And let me take a quick look here. Making sure everything's working because, I'm pretty certain the mic is working. And as far as the video, I can see the video is working. So let's take a look here. Okay. Making sure my computer likes me. They all got a really all kind of good stuff here. So, all right. Oh, hey, Vala. Thanks for joining. I see you. Thanks. So, anyway, everybody could hear me, could see me. So, I see like 3 people are coming in on Facebook. I see some folks are coming in on Instagram as well as on YouTube. So, for people who are this is the first time joining us, this is called Ask Chi Anything. It is my service to you to answer any question you have about anything in the world. Even if I don't know the answer, I'm here to be of service. And it happens on every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it is live on Facebook, Instagram, as well as YouTube. So any of those options are available for you. So, oh, hey, Matt. Thanks for joining. Yeah, so and it's a space that just like for us to build community, really enjoy it. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm feeling personally a little I don't want to call it sick because there's so much connotation about sick now. I'm just a little congested and a little tired, but there's no projectile of anything, no coughing, no sneezing. Maybe when I talk I spit. That's just nature of how excited I get when I talk. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, so that's kind of like where I'm at right now. I know that people are just joining in. There's 7 followers coming up on Facebook, and folks are joining us here, on Instagram. So let's take a look here. It's interesting how all of these things work here. See, all right, so anyway, so I am, if nobody have any question here, I'm gonna start with some of the question that has been posed to me, you know, about, about things. So here, let me go ahead and bring it up here. Some of the questions that came up to me. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. Somebody asked me, what is the weirdest food combination that you enjoy? So, some of people might know in that I love food. I love food a lot, and I like also things that's spicy. So, one of the weirdest thing I ever enjoyed that I think is weird, but maybe other people is not, is jalapeno ice cream. Yes. And particularly, there's like this spicy. Oh, here it is. Here's Brucey. Spicy, like chocolate kind of ice cream. To me, it feels really weird and like spicy and chocolate and ice cream. But I think it's works sometimes. Like sometimes, Mexican. What is it? Hot chocolate is spicy and it's chocolate and it's delicious. So, anyways, oh hey, we got Tawana here. The spouses are heading to dinner on a little date. So, hope I'm feeling better. Yeah, I'm feeling better. So, thanks, Tawana, for stopping by. Hope you guys have some good dinner. And a great place to have dinner in Roseburg. You got a lot of awesome places. Bricks just got a new owner, so it sounds like they got some good food coming up. So today's Wednesday. You will probably have, what is it? True Kitchen is open. Oso is open. There's Loggers, bunch of good places. So, Tawana, hope you guys, enjoy your dinner. By the way, where are you guys going? So, all right. So, Vala, say, what happens when you get a lot of dust when you help a friend lost pet? When I get a lot of dust. So, a lot of dust comes sometimes when you're helping a lost pet, friend with a lost pet, like we meaning like going underneath a house, going through under the crawl space where there's dusty. Is that what you're trying to say? Because guess what? When you go home and blow your nose, some of that dust comes comes out, and that's what happened. So yeah, so jalapeno ice cream. Is it pickle jalapeno or fresh jalapeno ice cream? I honestly don't know. I think it's fresh jalapeno. I really don't know. So yeah, it's hard to say. Oh hey Melody, thanks for joining us. All right, Matt. Oh, got some question here. Have you ever tried anything with a jalapeno and a chocolate combination? Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's jalapeno, but it's like that hot chocolate, that Mexican hot chocolate. But that's chili, I guess. But jalapeno chocolate. Uh oh, jalapeno stuff, or is it jalapeno covered chocolate, or is it stuffed chocolate? I think you can actually have that, and I feel like I had it, but also at weird at the same time. But it was still good because I don't know, somehow the combination of and chocolate and spicy just seems to work. So yeah, and you had it once in ice cream and it was pretty good. Yeah, like again, jalapeno like spicy and chocolate actually can work. So if you guys haven't tried it, definitely try that. So oh, Bricks is closed this evening, so you're going to True. All right, yeah, a lot of restaurant they don't open until like Thursday and Friday, and I get that, but some of us like to eat all the time and like to eat out. So Bricks, if the new owners are hearing this, might be a good idea to open on Wednesday nights because some of us like to go on Wednesday nights as well. So yeah, good friends though. I like to think, like good friends about helping each other, also like recommending good food and telling, like showing up for each other, showing up for seeing each other for authenticity. So I don't know, that's what I think it is. But maybe you want me to Google it, I can Google it. So all right, what else we got here? Oh hey Christina, thanks for joining us. So, but it's something really exciting I actually want to announce today too, because now that we got more people here, so next week we're gonna have our first guest here, and I'm really really excited here. So to talk about this because I know that like every week I'm just here talking and randomly asking questions. So next week I'm gonna have a special guest who's gonna answer some question that I come up and you guys come up. So her name is Melody Brenham. She is a marketer. She is a content creator, and she's just overall amazing woman. And what she's gonna come here also because if some of y'all know, is February is Black History Month, and as in my opinion, a pretty prominent Black woman in Douglas County, I thought that it might be, it'd be appropriate to invite her to really, talk about the importance of Black History Month and what's about, and her experience, things like that. So for our guest, first special guest on this show, Melody Brenham, I'm super excited and love her content. Love her on Facebook. I don't know if you guys, on Facebook friends with her, but she's hilarious. She's amazing. She's beautiful and just, overall a good person. And I think like you guys will enjoy that. So definitely check us out next week. We got, exciting, good show next week. So, all right. So who we got here? All right. So Noel. Hey, Noel. And yes, so Melody is actually on the chat, so feel free to come on the chat. And this is also really exciting too. So what I am also going to ask is, folks who can join us, definitely bring your question, ask them. This is a good opportunity. Like if you ever wonder what the heck is this Black History Month, bring it. And if you don't think you could be able to join us live, please send me your question, DM me, send me whatever question you have, and we'll be happy to answer them live for you, because it is a topic that still a lot of people like to know about and like to know what's going on. And Melody is just amazing person, and I love her, and she's gonna it's gonna be a great show. So bring it on your question and we'll answer them live for you. So send them in, DM me, or come on live and we'll get that going for you. So anyway, yep, we love an open and positive conversation. Yes, yeah, whatever we do to have an open and positive conversation for folks will be amazing. This is the safe space for all, and we want people to be able to, come with your curiosity, come with your, general, openness, and just, ask the question that you've been wanting to ask. So, be nice though. Come on, be nice. So, anyways, as we move forward, we're gonna see what else we got here. Oh, hey, Renee, thanks for joining us. And yeah, Vala, Melody. Okay, yeah. So this is exciting. So I am going to bring up some other questions that we have that were sent to me. Apparently, like the weirdest, food combination is a thing. So here's a question: Is what is the most interesting experience you had as a when you walk into a new house? So I'm guessing the question is like, what is the kind of like interesting scenario when going out and showing a house to people. So I remember going into a house that was vacant, was dark, all the shades were closed, and it looked like I just walked into the 70s. And that's not the first time I walk into a house that's looked like you walk back in the 70s with shade carpet, with a shag carpet, with the with the 70s colors and all that stuff. But it was ridiculously cold in there, and it feels a little breezy. And so, I don't like. I personally believe there are still something out there. The bumps in the night, and spirit's still kind of around. I don't know if the spirit was there, but I definitely feel the need to come from a place of respect when you go into a house like that. And whatever the situation is, whatever the reason the house was for sale, coming from a place of respect is very important. And that's what I did. It's like, hey, I respect you, and I am not here to do anything wrong. I'm just here to kind of like sell this house. So please bear with me. So that's one of the interesting scenarios. I also have been other places that definitely looks like a dungeon, and looks like it's been flooded. Another so other weird things I've been to. So I'm not sure every realtor does this, because I'm not like other people. But have you ever had a realtor to go underneath your crawl space with you or for you, and especially when one of those manufactured homes? And so a lot of time manufactured homes, like if you're using it to use a VA loan or FHA loan, they're gonna need the house to be strapped down. Depending on what if it had final inspection or not, it might need to be strapped down. Well, guess who sometimes get to go down there to double check? Yeah, so I actually like to do that. I like to go underneath those, do the stuff that, to help save you money, to help save you time. And so, yeah. And those are kind of scenarios where you get dust in your nose. So hopefully you also, carry a nice little overall in your car and some nice boots to do that kind of stuff because you're going to need it. So. Oh, that's Bootsy. He's trying to get my attention. Of course, that's what he does. So, anyway, so what do we got here? What's the spicy thing you ever eaten in Ghost of Elvis? I don't know about Ghost of Elvis because I don't think I'm that fancy to be to meet Ghost of Elvis, and also we're not like is it Memphis, Tennessee? That's where he's at. Like Roseburg, Murder Creek, Sutherland. I don't think Elvis was here, but I could be wrong. So tell me if I'm wrong. If Elvis ever traveled here, therefore Elvis Ghost might have been here. But spiciest thing I ever eaten. I don't know if it was truly spicy, that spicy, or I just ate it wrong, and that was my experience of it being super spicy. But I remember I was 16 years old and I was at the farmers market back in Oakland, California. And there is this vendor booth with all kind of spice, chilies, with the Thai chili, with the pointy chili, with the jalapeno and serranos and all that stuff. And they have the one little area with the most spicy chili ever. And that was before I think scorpion pepper or jalapeno reaper came about. But at that time they had I think it's like the super Thai chili or something like that. It's like this, inch thick and this little pointy little thing. And I was 16 being all cocky and stuff and thinking like I know, what I'm doing. And so I grabbed one. I took a little nip. I was like, nah, this is not spicy. So I took a little nip again. Not spicy. So third time I just chuck it. Bad idea because this thing creeps up on you. And it was spicy. And I'm pretty certain I was barfing for the next hour or two. And at some point, you can't barf anymore. So it wasn't even like food poison kind of barf. It was just like my body's like, expel the demon, and can't. Yeah. That was 16. So, wow, that was 20 years ago or 21 years ago. That was quite a while ride. So, another experience I had that was really hilarious. I didn't actually eat it, but there was a spice store back in Oakland, California. All these spices, and they had this jar that say ghost pepper. So they have dried up herbs, and one of them is ghost pepper, and they have the legit the dry up version of the ghost pepper, and it was in the jar, and I decided to take a whiff. I opened the lid, took a whiff. I'm pretty sure a couple of my nose hair got burned because I felt the burn just through sniffing. So, yeah, don't go randomly sniffing at no ghost pepper or jalapeno whipper because you don't have to taste it to to have a reaction. So that was also another good one. Not as bad as the one where I chucked the super Thai pepper, but it was pretty close. So yeah, don't do what I do. Kids, beware. Use me as an example of don't eat chili just because you think you're good. You can do it. Let's see. He's in Memphis with all his clothes and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Elvis dig the 70s shag carpet. Yeah, of course he digs the 70s shag carpet. He's that's his era. But do I think that he, was his ghost is around here? I don't think so. Unless you are saying that any house that has shag carpet has a little piece of Elvis ghost in it, then now I'm gonna think about that because every time I go to a house now, and and see that they have shag carpet, I'm like, should I talk to it and say, "Hey, Elvis, are you here?" I'll let you know how that goes because I remember I was just in a house with shag carpet like only like a week ago. So yeah, maybe I'll go back and see what's up. So, all right, let's see what else. Oh, that's a cattail. Uh, oh, hey, Karen, thanks for joining. What you got? Okay, what would you say to someone that feeds feral cats? Um, I'm going to need a little more context. Like, are they feeding it just to feed it? Are they like helping it breed? Because like, are these cats like have they been fixed? Um, like I don't personally mind people feeding feral cats. But I think it's important that those feral cats are spayed and neutered so they don't, increase the population because like cat colonies, it's a thing, and two cats could turn to dozen, and hundreds of cats. So, like if you're feeding, feral cats are fixed and spayed, are not going to get any, more than just a couple of cats that's there, then that's fine. But if you're not, if those animals are not fixed, then you're essentially growing the colony. So yeah, so I would say like ask the people who's feeding the animals like more question like what are you doing, are these animals fakes or like we here in Douglas County in Roseburg we have Saving Grace, and Saving Grace does have sometimes does lend out traps to people to capture them, and you could bring them to Saving Grace, and they could get them fixed, take them, put them foster, whatever it is, and then get them adopted back. So another thing is some of these feral cats can be maybe tame enough to be readopted. Um, so I would say do it. So, but I also be cautious, like are they just being fed? So anyway, no, not fixed. Someone feeds to support and increase the population. Now, if they just feeding and increasing the population, that's kind of mean. That's kind of rude because you think you also kind of putting the animals at harm's way by increasing the population like that. And I would consider reporting that to you know uh, to the city because like I would highly recommend those animals be fixed. That's my main concern. It's not so much feeding them; it's just more like are they fixed? So yeah. All right. What else we got here? Better singer, Pink or Lady Gaga? Ooh, that's a hard one. I would say with confusion on my face that I would support Lady Gaga as a better singer, but also please don't troll me on that. Yeah, Lady Gaga. She also have done a lot of very transformative and inspirational music that also very queer friendly music. So yeah, I guess that. But Pink is also good too. It's hard to pick, but I guess Lady Gaga. So all right, what you got here? Oh, hey Christina, thanks for joining. All right, what we got here? I want to hear about your Tony Robbins experience. I think you said you walk on fire. Oh, hey Chris. All right, so Christina, yes, I'd be happy to talk about Tony Robbins. So I went to a Tony Robbins event called Unleash the Power Within in November. It was in Florida. There were about 10,000 people in attendance. And one of the thing that we got to do is to walk on fire. What does that mean? Is they had rows and rows of hot coal that they just lay it on the ground. So I don't know, like you guys seen some of these um, indigenous culture had these spiritual, practices where they walk on fire. A lot of time is their spiritual leaders or as part of the rites of passage, things like that. Uh, and from what I understand, is Tony Robbins has learned that from from various teachers, and now are implementing as part of his training. And why to do that is to kind of like making that breakthrough, trusting yourself to, take that leap, take that transformation. So the rows are about 16 feet long and about 3 feet wide. And yes, they are hot. And they did it the first day. The event was 4 days long, and they did it on the first day. And I literally remember getting there. I think it was like 11 o'clock, and we finally got in at 1. And he's like telling us that, oh yeah, you can walk on fire today. I'm like, don't you want to like work us up to that point? Like, like you got 4 days. Come on, work us up to it. He's like, no, you go do that tonight. And I'm like, okay. So, and what was interesting, like, sometimes you still don't believe him that that's going to happen. But then right around like when you came back from dinner around 6, you start smelling barbecue. You start smelling like, why is this like, auditorium smells like barbecue? Because guess what? He sees his people are out there burning up coal, like tons and tons of coal in those last like couple hours. And you could smell it. And at first I was like, why does it smell like burning? Like, why does it smell like barbecue? Because you gonna be walking on that later. And yeah. So come 1 o'clock in the evening, we got to do that. So yes, he did prep us a lot. There was some really deep meditation. He taught us how to walk. You walk forward and you say, wet moss, and all kind of like meditative, or looking forward, don't look down, don't run, all that such. And you just kumas is the kumas. Then kumas, not how to call kumas, and you walk. And so finally, 1 o'clock comes around. We all took our shoes off and piled ourselves towards outside. And yes, 10,000 people around 1 o'clock in the middle of the night, walking out in the dark outside of a hotel parking lot so we can walk on cold. And there were no lights outside. There were no lights. It was just dark. You get some lights from the parking lot, but it was just dark. And all you see is this glowing red coming out. And then he has like the music, the drummings and all that stuff. And yep, I did it. I wish that you could take selfies, but you can't because you're not supposed to stop in the cold, or you're not supposed to take it because you could injure yourself. That's how people get injured. Is that when they stop and they take a selfie, or they blocking the road? That's how people get injured. So, but I did it. It was hot. It definitely felt hot, and but I walked. I got over there to the other end. They spray your feet with water. They have this little mat where you can scrub your feet to get any like cold that might got stuck on your feet, and then you get and then you walk barefoot back inside. Actually, what was really seemed the hardest, maybe like a training run, is like walking barefoot in the driveway where the path is like all bumpy and kind of feel like sharp nails. I don't know, like feel like that was also like a test or something. Intentional, but yeah. So that was one of the experiences of the 4 days. Other than that, there were amazing moments where he did meditation. There was also like where he did called the Dickens process, where you imagine yourself like, if nothing changes in your life, if everything stays the same in your life, and in 1 year, what does that look like? 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And sometimes it's kind of hard to face reality, to like, whoa, if I don't make a change right now, I might not be around. And that's really a real conversation to have, to really like say like, sometimes you do need to make that big shift in your life and big change. So Christina, I don't know if you're taking that via online or what, but it's definitely very powerful. I highly recommend, if anybody are able to take it live, to take it live. because there is nothing in comparison to being live in that moment. And because like live is like actually going out there and step on a call, actually being in a room with other people, you're screaming, you're dancing, and you just really like having that transformative moment, like even with the dating process, which was like a very emotional process to me and many people. But like imagine being in a stadium or auditorium where like if not even 10,000, let's say 1,000 people, 1,000 people all crying at the same time because they just going through this such transformative moment. And it's so powerful that you just can't help that you also going through that process yourself. So yeah, so that's a little bit of kind of like the 4 days of my experience with Tony Robbins. My hope and my goal and hope is to be able to attend his training, his live trainings once a year. So if that is going to be the Unleash the Power Within, I'll attend again. I want to attend some of his like more advanced ones too. Uh, so there's like Dates with Destiny. That's about finding your purpose. Unleash the Power seems kind of like the entry level, like, okay, you want change. Here's the starting point. And then you got Date with Destiny, you got, the different masteries and things like that. So I would say just try it. I can't, I don't think I could fully explain what that experience is like for anybody. So, all right. So, you start smelling barbecue. Yeah. Sometimes kind of remind him like I start feeling like maybe I start smelling like barbecue. So, okay. Oh, hey, Christina, you're going to UPW in March. Is that the one live or is that the one virtual? Because I thought that was virtual, and I wasn't quite like feeling about going there virtually. So, but I hope you have a great experience, no matter whatever direction you if it's virtual or live. So, all right, let's see what we got here. Cruz Morano, so proud of you for doing that. I remember you coming back on fire yourself. Tony is a great teacher. Yes, he is a great teacher. Okay, so Cruz asked, what was the most impactful thing you learned from walking on fire and jumping out of airplane? Um, so yeah, some of you know that I also went skydiving last year, and so you know, I kind of made this joke like, oh, you jump off airplane so you can walk on fire. And some of the most powerful thing I learned is just like sometimes you just have to take that leap, and you're not really gonna know what that experience like because you know So there's a video that Will Smith put out about his experience of skydiving, and I actually watched that before, and it really helped me. And one of the things he's saying, like, you don't like everything you experience about this fear of jumping out airplane or walking on fire, or everything you experience, all these fear, all these things is not true because you're not even there yet. How could you be afraid of something that you haven't experienced yet? And that also at any time before you actually, at least on the airplane, stepping on the ledge, even on the walking fire, until you step on the ledge, it's not even happening. So you know, but he also said that the greatest thing, God gives you the best thing in life on the other side of fear. And through that experience of skydiving and the experience of walking a fire, is that I've learned that I don't have to let fear dictate who I am, dictate my life, dictate myself, and that I need to live with that. And also, like coming from also like the whole talk about like a lot of fear. It's just it's not quite real. It's just generated. So like, why are we letting things that's unreal, that's not even happening yet, stop us from achieving going forward? Like up until I literally on the ledge, I could have said, nope, I'm done. I'm gonna go back, and they probably wouldn't let me. Once you're on the ledge, you kind of have to jump because, especially when you're doing the tandem skydiving, you are strapped to somebody else, and when he rock you, you going. There's no unrocking that. So you better be, like once you at that edge, there's no turning back. But every time before that, You could. Same thing with the Tony Robbins thing. Up until the moment I was in front of the line, right there in front of the coal in front of me, I could have been like, nope, I'm gonna go home. I'm putting my shoes back on. I could go. But to really embrace these thoughts that I have that are fear, that are, not even real, and to go and do that is such a liberating experience. And even like, especially with skydiving, really, your the first maybe like 3 5 second is probably the scariest, other than sitting on the ledge, but that's like 1 second. So the ledge, and then the 3 seconds when you actually falling, because your body literally is trying to adjust to the experience of falling out of an airplane, falling from like solid ground to nothingness. And so your body's like adjusting that, and you can really feel like, oh crap, I'm actually falling out of airplane. But once you get past that oh crap moment and your body is adjusted, it's all liberation from there. It's all freedom. You're just floating in the sky. You're just experiencing, you're just enjoying it. And the same thing, kind of like you get that bliss from walking on fire, because once you did it, it's done. And just coming from those experiences, and also coming from a place of like having no expectation. A lot of time, like, I'm also a person who runs a lot of scenario in my head. It's like, oh, what if this, what if that, what if this, but it's like, well, what's the worst could happen? I died. Like, but it's but instead of thinking that way, just don't expect anything. Just do the dig and go. And that's something I'm learning to, not coming from a place of expectation, and just embrace it with openness and open heart. So, and curiosity. So, all right, let's see what I got. Oh, hey Megan. Yes, hi Bootsy. He like laughed. So, let's see. Okay, Christina, you doing virtual now and in person next year? Hey, let me know when you're doing the in person. Maybe I could join you, because it was really lovely to go and do that Tony Robbins event. But I do have these moments like, well, I wish I could do it with some friends, so two people that I know, because this experience is something like I actually personally, um, I'm thinking about like, now don't commit me yet, but I'm thinking about like next time, the next live coming up, part like later this year. I want to have somebody join me. Yeah, and maybe we'll raffle a ticket here or something like that. You don't know. Yeah, like I really think that people could really truly benefit from experience with Tony Robbins live, and that's something that I might consider doing a raffle through this, for people who might be interested. So let me know if you think that's a good idea. I don't know, just a thought that I have. So, anyways, let's see what else we got here. Let's go together. Sorry for the delay. So my I sometimes blab a lot. So then when I go look at the screen, it's like, oh, a lot of people like have and all these questions for me. So okay, so let's go together and take a group. Yeah, let's take a group. Literally, hey, good minds. I got. Okay, and oh, hey, Catherine. Hey, Chi. Am I in your hoops pa? I don't know what hoops pa is, but uh hoops spa. I don't know. Okay, Chris said yes. Jump. Jim Patrick, skydiving is amazing. I am addicted. I know. I kind of actually want to do it at least once a year. You know why? Because I need to be reminded. Like, have you ever had those moments where you're like, did I forgot that I could do anything? Did I forget that? So skydiving might be one of those things where I feel like I want to do it at least once a year to remind myself I could do anything I want. So yeah, you could kind of get addicted to that. So, did you burn your feet? Did your feet burn? Okay, so it was definitely hot. But it felt more like, how like you're going to a beach and you're walking on hot sand. It felt more like that, and it definitely, I could feel like it was still kind of burning afterward. Uh, and when I went back to put my shoes on, which took like about an hour later or something, because it felt like it took forever to go back to inside. Maybe just 30 minutes. I'm exaggerating. Who knows? I did look at my feet. It did look like it had a blister. But here's something amazing. The next day when I woke up from bed, I look at my feet, no blister. So you might get a blister after it happened, but by the next day, it's gone. Your feet no longer hurt. Nothing as if nothing ever happened to you. So, yeah, it felt like just walking on the hot sand in the beach. It feels like her small walking on the ground in the parking lot than it was actually walking on the cold. And yeah, it just disappeared. So no any long term injuries or residual anything like even after that. So I recommend try it for everybody. Um, you should looking into being a Tony Robbins coach. I don't know. Maybe who knows? Hey, maybe Tony Robbins. If you start seeing, this show's coming on, hey, maybe you should talk to me. So, all right. So what else we got? Oh, we got Lindley. Hey, Chi, I finally made it today. This is great. I hope it's great. I don't know. I just kind of wing it here, but it's fun. Honestly, it's fun. So. All right, so let's see what we got. Cruise, I am ready to go again. I was so jealous watching y'all jump. I need to go again. Hey, so maybe a summer skydiving crew. Maybe we should do that because I really like that we did it. I did it in October, and I got some really good friends that did it with me. But I feel like a summer one will be really awesome to do that. And yeah, if we could get a crew of people to do it, I think it'd be amazing. Because after I did my thing, a lot of people were like really excited. But I also feel like there's still kind of like again like this gap between I want to do it to actually making it happen. So like how do we reduce that gap to like, hey, let's make it happen. So and for those who didn't know, curious how I made this decision is that so in August, my second niece was born, and I got the chance to spend a whole week with my older niece, Annabelle, to take care of her, be a good auntie and things like that. And while her parents at the hospital, doing the baby thing, and something tells me like, and I always know this. I know this that like I want a family, but like I was not ready. But I'm also like, what do I need to do to be ready? And for whatever reason, whatever hair in my butt, skydiving came up to my head and was like, you need to do this. You need to make this happen. And as an Aries, someone who's very decisive and get it done, I was like, okay, it's August. Let's make this happen. Let's get it done. And I want to get it done before end of the year. So I reach out. I put it out on Facebook, talk to different people about skydiving. I put it out to some of my friends, be like, hey, who wants to join me? Because it'd be nice to have some people to join you on something like this, right? It'd be nice to have some people. And and of all the people I asked, my friend Ariel, in Vancouver right now, who was actually in Roseburg before, in Vancouver now, was like, yeah, I'll join you. And I'm like, really? I don't have to convince you? And like she's like, yeah, just tell me when. So I booked it for end of October. That was I think was pretty much the last session, skydiving session. I didn't even know this. Last skydiving session before the season closed, because I think the following weekend, like it was rain and storm and all that stuff, and they pretty much closed sets. But it was like the last weekend before that. It was the perfect weekend. It was nice and warm. It wasn't too windy. It was perfect. And we went there, went jump. And Cruz, actually, your wife joined us. Like she took us a while to decide too. And but she decided what Wednesday before, and we went on Saturday, and then a couple of us went and did it. So yeah, if we could make a better plan for it, that'd be great. But I'm also the kind of person like, hey, you want to do this? Let's make it happen. So. All right. So what else we got in? So Christina, what's your favorite book for personal development or any favorite book? Okay, personal development. So a book I recently read. I don't know what I say is my favorite, but it's definitely one that's like memorable right now. Um, is The Gap in the Gain. Uh, so Gap in the Gain is the book, And what it essentially is that we often very much look at our progress in life, our transformation in life, in the gap. Like, oh, I should be here, or I should have done this, or this is where I need to go, or this is that. But we don't look back on our gains. Like, oh, like, like, what was it, like, just in October I was skydiving. That's amazing personal achievement. Not everybody will, look at all the achievement they done. Like in the last 6 months, in the last year, I have grown so much. But a lot of time we so focus on the future, so focus on the gap. Like, oh, all these things we need to do, all these things that we need to get done. And we also do that with our loved ones. We do that with our kids. We do that, for our spouses and partners and our teammates. We look at the gap and like, oh, what's missing, what's not done. Whereas we should also celebrate the gains. And this doesn't mean like never look at the gap. Is that when we look at where our progress is, and where we're getting to the point where we are so focused on the gap, it's time to look at the gain. And the gain is also like looking at the gratitude, being grateful of all the achievement you've done. And there is actually some scientific proof about when you come from a place of gratitude, when you come from a place of appreciating all that you've done, there is like natural hormones and stuff that really gets yourself pumping. And with that information, you can actually use that towards achieving your goal moving forward. So it's not just ever say you don't look forward, is that you utilize what you have gained as a ways to project moving forward. But instead of just keep focusing and being so hard on yourself, or so hard to your spouse, so hard to your partner, your kids, your teammates, whoever, of like that missing gap. And it's also a great way to coach people. So like when you're coaching, if you are a coach in your team, or if you're a supervisor or manager or something, and you're coaching your employees or teammates or whatever, the gap in the gain is actually a really good self-improvement, personal development tool in that. So that's one of the book I would highly recommend right now to check it out. There's also obviously a lot. There's the Think and Grow Rich, how to make friends and influence others. The different classic. Rich Dad Poor Dad is a great financial literacy book. So there's a lot of ones. Maybe one of these days I'll just like spend the day and just like listing a bunch. So who knows? All right. Let's see what else. Oh yeah. And if you're Audible, it's great to listen to a lot of them, because some of them actually are narrated by the author, and sometimes it's actually pretty good. Sometimes there are other times the author is actually kind of dry, so you kind of can pick and choose. All right, what we got here? Belinda, I want to paint the back wall. Braver than. Okay, and then the Johnny Painter, braver than. Paint the back wall. I'm not sure. Let's see. Okay, in case I'm not following the conversation. Okay. Like it could be more zen. We say color is something less red. LOL, don't be mad. I just being honest. Oh, you don't like my red wall? Oh, is that what you're trying to say? Well, okay. So red is a very vibrant color. It's a very rich color, and it's actually a very prosperous, like fortune color in Chinese. So I decided to paint red because I want to kind of embody the prosperity, the fortune in of my Chinese culture. I know it's not the like Zen like color, but I'm also, my office is not Zen. If in my room is a little bit very different, my bedroom and everything is like look very different, and the wall is gray here. But yeah, the red wall. Oh no, it wasn't to me. Wasn't meant to be meditative. This is not a meditation thing. This is business. So I get that. Okay. So sounds like a great book. Love you, Chi. Gotta cook. Hey, Cruz, what you cooking? You gonna cook me some ribs? So, okay. So, Christina saying, I love Think and Grow Rich. I teach a class on that one. You do. We should talk, because I would love to attend a class like that. So, all right, you gotta run to dinner time. Wow, everybody's going to dinner right now. Actually, I should be going to dinner. Well, I got 11 more minutes, so unless anybody else got some question, I'm gonna pull up some questions I have here from other people. Yeah, and oh, here's a question that somebody asked me the other day. It's kind of interesting. So, do you like steak? And if so, what is your favorite kind of steak? So, yes, I love steak. I love it immensely. And one of my favorite kind of steak is ribeye. Uh, if I ever also wanted decide to spend that kind of money, I buy like wagyu steak as well. I will buy it actually. I have actually spent money on what's it called, Kobe steak, and it's not just I think this was American Kobe. It wasn't the Japanese Kobe. So there's apparently a difference because one is made in America and the other one is Japan. And at that time, I think like Japanese Kobe would have been like $300 and American was 100. So this was just $100 steak, and that was a really really delicious steak. I remember having it with my friend Jean. Actually, she was the one who bought it. I was like maybe like 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, something like that. And she bought it for us because we were so supportive of her personal journey. And when she finally got a job, so she like decided to take her and myself and her sister out to dinner. And we went to this fancy steakhouse in San Francisco. And she's like, "Here's your budget. As long as you stay within this budget," and it was within the budget. And so I ordered the wagyu steak, and she wanted to try some. Obviously, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't you try some? So we, gave her a slice of it, and she wanted to save it for later. Save it for like, be able to. I think she had ribeye at that time, and we were just chatting, and she accidentally ate the ragu piece, and she immediately could tell that was different because of how juicy and tender, and how delicious it was. And that got to tell you, when you could tell by accidentally eating the wrong piece of meat and you could tell it's totally different, that's how you got a good kind of steak. So for me, everyday thing, if I would go to the butcher shop and get me a ribeye. If I feel like really going super fancy, I go to like a wagyu or Kobe steak. But those are like kind of every so often, not very often at all, because I don't know, just don't feel like spending $100 on steak that often. Right now, you go out to for a meal, it's like what, $35-$50 for a dinner, a steak dinner, and that's before you really get like a lot of drinks and stuff. And I understand, right now where the economy is, but I think like that's probably my limit as far as how much I want to spend on steak. Um, yeah, well, I also like to cook it too, so I would go to the butcher shop, and I think the other day what they had it was 16.99 per pound for ribeye, and it was so worth it. Honestly, it was so worth it. Like big chunk. So, and I think I bought like dinner, for 5 people, and it was a pretty good, reasonable price. So, one thing I also love like being here in Douglas County is that there's a really enormous selection of like butcher shops that have like great selection of meat, and a lot of them come from like local, farmers. So I really like that. Just reasons I like being here. So, all right, anything else here? Okay, we got 6 people still watching. And okay. So let's take a look. All right, I got. Okay, I think I asked this question before. So, how long does it take to buy a house? So, typically, escrow period. So that's from the time that you get your offer accepted to the time that you close. It could take between 30 to 45 days. Here in Douglas County, it's about 45 days, 30 days if you have a good lender with very quick appraisal. in typically conventional loans, 30 days. But otherwise, you're looking at 45 days, sometimes even pushing to 60, but mostly 45 days. So if you're looking to, looking at buying right now, so however long it takes you to, find the right home, that could be, a couple of days, a week, 2 months. Right now, inventory is still kind of short. So if you're looking for your perfect home, it might take some time. But if you are, realistic with your budget, realistic with your needs and your wants, and you know, and want to get into something, you could, there's still a good amount of inventory for to meet your needs. Especially if you are looking at buying something in 300 mid 300s and up, especially in the 400s. So 30, 45 days, you could close it. If you have cash, you might be able to close in 3 weeks. Just all depends on how long it takes to clear title, how long it takes for you to clear your your cash wire situation, whatever it is. So, all right, 6:56. Let's see what else we got here. Just pulling up some question here. Okay, somebody asked me this question, really interesting. So they asked me if I ever kiss a man. This is a really interesting question because, as a lot of you know, I fancy the ladies, and I'm always fancied the ladies. And only one time that no, two times I kissed a man. One was I kissed him on the forehead. That was, I think it was fun. And we just did it, kiss the forehead. The second time is whatever reason I had a moment and I made out with a gay man. Yes, that was my male experience. Kissing some guy on the forehead and making out with a gay man. Didn't really feel for me. Too much gruff, too much hair. I don't really understand like how, I guess, like, women, when you really like to make out with a man and you're okay with the scruff, you could do that. But I know it was too much for me. And yeah, so obviously, they could shave and stuff, but I think, again, I'm just fancy the woman, folks. So, and they taste better, smell better, look better. Just my taste. So, all right, let's see what else here. Okay. Okay. Do you have any tattoos, and what is it? Okay, so I have two tattoos. I have one, it's right here. It's up here. I have long sleeve shirt, so it's somewhere on my shoulder. They say "Carpe Diem," seize the day, because I, want to remember to seize the day. And the other one is on my back. It's a big dragon, double dragon tattoo, that is in infinity symbol, holding a pearl. And that symbolism for me is that it's the twin dragon, the power of two, and coming together in love, to create infinite love, and holding a pearl. Actually, it was kind of like I was trying to think: should it be pearl, should it be egg? Really haven't. It's actually technically not quite finished, but holding this round sphere thing, there's the two dragon in this infinity symbol and holding together and creating this beautiful life. So when you two, so like, how people, how people talk about like finding the other half, or finding, the other person to fill your cup and things like that. What I believe is, how about finding that other person that will not just fill your cup, but finding that person who's a whole person, who don't need you to fill that cup, don't need you to be the other half, who's a whole person themselves, and you as that whole person come together with that other person and and come together as two wholes, two whole individuals, and when you come together, you create a infinite symbol, and therefore you come together and creating this infinite love. So just something cheesy I think about, but I really want to embody that as this whole individual, as this continue transformative individuals, continue growth, and yeah, so all right, let's see what else we got here. Okay, so we got 5 people alive. We actually are now at 7, so we are done. Well, thanks for y'all for joining us here at Ask You Anything, and I will see you guys next week, same time, same place, Wednesday night, 6 p.m. And next week, I have a special guest of Melody Brenham. So join us. Bye. Bye.